All right. Welcome. Wonderfair Home Shopping. My name's Paul. I'm your host here at Wonderfair. Meredith is changing into the jumpsuit and will be joining us in just a moment. I'm just double checking and making sure all the audio is working out okay. Doing that. Yep, it's working. Great. Hello, Instagram. Hello, folks on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. So glad. Looking forward to now being pen pals and receiving elaborate packages from across the ocean that now divides us. But so glad you have made it to Germany after trying so hard. Hello, Molly Wetta, Lawrence Public Library legend. We had a wrapping emergency earlier. Had to call in Molly. Haven't heard back yet, but Molly. She's there looking for a response. Molly, check your texts. Okay, Meredith's just about ready to join us, yeah, let's talk. What has been going on? Here she comes. You brought in something, but I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. You wish you. You know, I had a couple things I wanted to show off that I forgot to grab. Pardon this. But, okay. You know, in keeping with past updates. Dumpster update from downtown Lawrence. Dumpster date. Yeah. Dumpster date. We'll work on so here's what's going on. We're starting to see lots of folks cleaning out their space. This is Let's slow be more time. Specific. Yeah. Many downtown businesses maybe didn't spend the last few weeks pivoting to digital. Yeah. Like these guys. Yep. So they've got these staffs and they've got these closed stores. So they're just like, better clean the basement. So no time like the present. We've been seeing lots of interesting stuff go to the dumpsters in our little neighborhood here. Yesterday was bountiful in ways. I didn't even grab those things. I'll grab it. But first up, maybe I should save that. I'm going to save this little guy for last. I found, Brown's has been cleaning out. I've been seeing lots of paperwork from the last 30 or 40 years of shoe sales from Brown's going into the dumpster. Meredith picked up these mid-century ceiling lights that are in slightly rough shape, but overall pretty good. They're designed to be spotlit, so you could kind of spotlight from the side. They're beautiful brass. Yeah, we could definitely make something spooky out of those. I was just gonna make them be cool. Anyway, great. We've got some new mid-century light fixtures from the trash. I haven't even showed this to Meredith yet, but given our affection for printing, found this plate here. I saw it in the closet. What is this? Stoked. Well, that's a photo etched plate that look at it shine. Brand name Vitaplate. Vitaplate. It's probably made of magnesium. Fun fact. And it would have been used to print probably newspaper ads for the Brown's Shoe Fit Company. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking age-wise that looks like 70s, but it could be later. Newspapers actually printed on non-digital offset for a long time. Yep. So it's a shoe advertisement here. I can't read this. Can you see what brand that is? Divine? Yeah, so this would have been back when Brown's was called McCall's. It was under a different name. That is hard to read backwards. And here's yeah, I don't know. Here's the real treasure of what I found in the dumpster yesterday. This little elf doll. He's got a tie and a collar, but no shirt, just tie and collar. So that's pretty good, right? I don't know. I'm gonna give the folks on Instagram a close up. Fun fact, these shoes were made in Italy. That I've figured out. From when Brown's was called McCall's Shoes and was located still at 829 Massachusetts. Wow, that's cool. Also, hi, Alf. Hi, Alf. Question. Yes. So businessman Alf, who was in the dumpster.
Businessman Alf.
I, for some reason, was wondering if Alf sold shoes. Is there like a connection between Alf
is there
and
a
shoes?
connection? What was Alf's job on Melmac? We're going to need a fact check on that.
Okay.
What was Alf's job on Melmac?
Yeah. Well, this is a very cool thing.
So if we want to start printing ads for a non-existent shoe store in downtown Lawrence, we've got all the materials we need now.
Yep.
Okay, local news. Taco Zone tweeted again yesterday, or maybe even today, I think yesterday, saying they're going to be back soon.
Oh, wow.
Sit tight. Here's what it says. Be back before you know it. I don't think that's true.
Y'all, Taco Zone is not coming back before. They're not going to participate in the upside down world.
Let's get Brad on the show. Let's get Brad on the show.
Okay, well,
grill him.
I have an update.
Okay, what's your update?
Mike, the grouchy UPS guy,
all right,
famously, he did tell me today that things are going to be opening up real soon.
All right. Mike's a believer.
Mike's a believer.
See, Mike.
You know what? This is fine. We put all this effort into pivoting.
Yeah.
And I'm here to ride it out. As long as it takes to stay safe.
We'll be here.
So exciting stuff. Although Lawrence still doing great, keeping our numbers real low, and I'm proud of all of you. Did you take that survey? I hope you did.
Yeah, I took the survey.
Lee is coming to join us.
Yeah.
It is Tubular Tuesday.
And
play us in. Still buy a new slide
I think
whistle?
so.
Like
I think you can.
This beautiful slide whistle? Great.
I do believe.
Well, this is a tube that I'm glad we could share with the people. That's kind of a show and tell.
Yeah, a little bit.
Shockingly.
But now it's our new audio accompaniment to Tubular Tuesday.
That's our sound effects. And you can probably buy slide whistles at the toy store, maybe even metal ones. I'm not sure. We do not sell any musical instruments here.
Yeah.
Unless
but we do have a store soundtrack.
Right. And we also sell paper, which you can use to blow through and make that like leaf of grass whistling sound and, just be creative. However, we do have other tubular things to share. I even have a show and tell that I brought out of the closet.
We should move along because Lee will be here pretty soon.
Let's get right on it.
Let's get right into Tubular Tuesday.
This is a box of vintage cheese ravioli. Pasta della prima.
Are you saying that there's ravioli in there? Vintage raviolis in there?
It's vintage raviolis. Raviolis, of course, are not tubes, but they're in the tubular pasta, like they're cousins to tubular pastas. Just kidding. It's a box of weird old markers.
Oh, okay.
So I brought this out because last week on Tubular Tuesday, do you recall what we learned about?
It was paint?
It was like gouache and water.
That was 2 weeks ago on Tubular Tuesday.
That was 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
What did we do last week? No, I did paint sets, I thought.
Grace D. Chin confirms that tin slide whistles are available at the toy store. So
awesome.
There you go.
Grace used to work there, so Grace would know. Well, regardless of when we talked about gouache and watercolor, and different kinds of gouache, I was thinking we would talk about the differences between two very popular tubed markers, alcohol-based markers, and water-based markers.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, boom, boom. So I brought a few really old alcohol-based markers. These are actually containing xylene. I don't totally know the scientific difference. You can't buy.
Oh, that's the difference.
And they are old. They don't make these anymore. California won't even touch them.
Oh, wow.
California is way ahead of the keeping your kids alive game in terms of chemicals, which has actually changed a lot of what ships because California is such a big shipping port.
Yeah.
Anyway, you don't need to know all the facts, but just know that markers keep you safe nowadays, not like these little poison rockets right up the nose.
Got to give these poison rockets a shout out, though, for
absolutely.
their nice design.
Woof!
Wow. Which is these aluminum metal casings.
Yep. They are not for kids, but they are great for artists, especially illustrators who are working with planes of flat color for reproduction. So for a long time, these kind of metal-bodied alcohol markers were what was up. In more recent years, if you use alcohol markers, probably the Copic brand is the most popular. Prismacolor still makes some. Other companies make them, but we're going to be talking about Copics as far as alcohol markers go. And we're going to be talking about a few water-based markers. So since we don't have a lot of time, I just want to get right into the tubular granular details of what sets an alcohol marker apart from a water-based marker. Paul.
Yes.
You're my vamp guy.
Yeah.
You're the person I want to know from. What do you already know about the difference
between alcohol and water? I know that you can drink both of them.
That's true.
And
would you drink the alcohol that comes in a marker though?
I don't know what the pigments are made of. I guess that would be the game changer for me, but probably no, I'm not going to drink any markers.
It's closer to rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, okay.
So probably don't drink it.
Yeah, there's different kinds of alcohol. I know that. I did some distilling in college, with a column, and we had
sounds like a tube.
It was a big old tube, and we would we're distilling alcohol and pulling off the first stuff you get is not, it's the real poison stuff, and then you can get into the stuff you drink.
Do you think I feel like the more poison stuff might be the perfect thing
for these markers. Who knows?
So
they use every part of the alcohol distillation is usually how it works.
Yeah.
I do know that when it comes to using them on paper, that alcohol is going to bleed right through almost everything.
That's true. Alcohol markers here's why that we can talk about why that happens, how to avoid it. You're going to learn a lot about what's up with alcohol markers right now. So, alcohol markers generally are going to be dyes or pigments dissolved in alcohol. So it's the carrier. But alcohol, which you're used to from cleaning things with it or leaving it out to sit, it evaporates very quickly. So when you have your dye suspended in an alcohol marker and you write on your paper, the alcohol flashes off immediately, leaving just the color behind, which is why they're so much more vibrant in color. They dry very quickly, so you can go over them more quickly with other colors and create new colors, like a layering effect, rapidly, which is great for illustrators who are working on the hour. And then a third note is that, strangely, they actually don't destroy the paper as much. They bleed through because the pigment's getting right into those fibers fast. Unlike with water-based markers, where the carrier, the dye, and pigment is just in water or sometimes glycerin. So it goes on the paper, and the water and the dye soak in the paper, which, if you've ever folded a piece of paper and licked it to tear it, when the paper gets wet, it becomes less strong and it will tear apart and start to pill up as you paint over and over. That's because you're not just getting dye on your paper, you're also getting water in there. And that's bad if you want your paper to stand the test of time. So.
Wow.
Yes.
So this is
I'm gonna let that sink in.
This is the fastest way to get pigment on page.
It's the fastest way to get pigment only on page, not water.
Not water. Skip the water.
Watercolor is its own thing. There's lots of reasons people might choose a water-based marker instead of alcohol, but if color and rapidity are something you're after, alcohol markers are going to be a better bet. So, trade-offs. They're more expensive because it's more expensive to make alcohol than water. Perhaps that's a mistake that we're making as a species, but it's happening like that. And they are also generally made to be refillable. So the plastic bodies are often stronger. They're made to refill several times, so they're better for the environment. You can replace the nibs. So the nibs, if they get worn down, you can just keep rocking that marker body over and I know.
On these?
Even a Copic. They even make little tiny cute tweezers you can use to replace the nibs if your nib starts to get frayed or if you drop it on the floor and bend it.
I ain't never seen that.
People don't come a-calling to replace their nibs very much. Copics are expensive, but still only $8.
Yeah.
So most folks.
You're gonna really wear it down. I mean, maybe just.
And most folks won't wear them down. They're very high quality. So, let's just take a quick look at. We've got here. I have examples of box of AMAC Copics, box of.
You'll recognize these boxes from our. Fancy Friday.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, in the Museum of Modern Art.
Yep.
These $3 boxes.
So Copics, as I said, are $8 a pin. They come in, one reason I love the Copic brand, they come in so many colors, but also for somebody who really likes detail and minutia and is a completist, the way they name their colors and they've built them out from the spectrum is really elaborate and fun to learn. So you can go to the Copic website and look at their color wheel and understand how reds and red violets and all the colors interact. But fun fact, if you choose alcohol markers, you actually don't need to buy the entire range to get everything done because they dry so fast. They're designed to be overlaid. So you really could just buy like 20 basic colors as building blocks, intending to always overlap your colors to create new colors.
Wow.
Yep. There are cheaper versions of Copics, like these kind of newer knockoff made by Art Alternatives are only, I think, $3 or $3.50 a marker, but they're not refillable. And I feel like their quality control is less good. I did notice in the wintertime, pens we had shipped would tend to crystallize, like the alcohol, I think they're like the ink froze and the alcohol didn't in shipment. And so we saw crystals forming on the nibs of the markers, which was kind of cool, but not if you want your marker to work well, because they had separated.
$2.99 a piece.
Oh, that's cheap. It's cheap. Worth it. It's worth it. Don't buy them in winter, maybe. We pulled all of the stock we had that goofed up, but keep an eye on it. I mean, they're cheaper quality and they have some less ideal quality control. I've never seen a Copic do that, so I do feel like they got the leg up.
Insulated caps on the Copics.
Wow, I think you made that up, but it might also be true.
They're nice caps.
They're overall really nice markers. They're also not completely round, so I don't know if they're that tubular. They're like an oblong tube. Does it count?
Sure.
Great.
There's tubes come in different shapes.
Oh, good.
I think.
And the Art Alternatives are tubular complete. I find the Art Alternatives to be a little less vibrant, but still really good for layering. And if I was buying for like a young person or someone just starting out with,
it slides, not rolls.
Slides, not rolls.
Roll stop.
Huge upgrade. Slide start. I don't know. Anyway.
Sorry, you were talking about.
I'm just trying to quickly just tell the people about markers before Lee gets here. How am I doing?
We're doing great. I'm learning a lot, actually.
Yeah. I'm honestly just training my staff.
This could have been a whole episode.
I realize
could have been a whole episode on marker.
So I wanted to do a little fun fact color mixing with markers.
Okay.
So as I said, you don't need to invest heavily in a huge range of colors. You just need to invest wisely in colors that create new colors. So for example, we've all been through grade school, unless you're a very young fan, in which case, thank you so much. So I'm going to put down a couple lines of blue here. I'm using marker paper, which will stop it from bleeding through. Marker paper is coated and a little thicker so that it doesn't take as long to dry and it won't bleed through. So I put down some blue, and now I'm going to do a couple of stripes of yellow over the top, and we're going to get a nice minty green out of it. It's going to be real pretty nice. I got some blues and greens there. You get a nice minty green in the middle.
You say so.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Even colorblind, I think you'll see this one. Painters know.
Oh yeah, that does look green.
Yeah, painters know a secret that most oil painters won't use black in their kit. They will make black with combinations of other colors. The easiest way to get to black with color mixing is ultramarine and burnt umber. And that makes a really dark black when put together. So I laid down some ultramarine, and now I'm going to lay down some burnt umber, and we're going to get a real nice black.
Easiest way to get to black. I didn't know that. I mean, it looks dark.
It's the quickest way to black. There's a lot of ways to get to black. You can actually mix a bunch of different colors to make really natural blacks that resemble nature, but I'll go on showing
painter's tricks.
That
work in your house too?
Instagram, you can see here's my combo of ultramarine. You can get a nice black there, and then here's some nice minty green I made. I didn't test the colors first. I just guessed. There's probably better color options to get to the color mix you want. Blue and brown makes black. Blue and yellow makes green. Kind of a minty one because I chose two pastel of colors. I could have chosen brighter colors, more saturated, and because they'd be more saturated with pigments, when I combined the two pigments, they would have stood out more as green. But I was trying to choose colors to sample out. We had it deeply stocked, so I didn't ruin it for all of you. So
they both have pretty nice caps, and they'd smell as a child.
I'm taking these into our quarantine homesteading situation. If the world really falls apart, I'm just going to rub these all over my wounds. Just mark it right over them.
No, I would use these probably. I don't know.
Not the more stinky ones?
Well, I don't know.
We're still going to need art even when we're like deep in a hole.
Maybe
so
more
I'm
than
going to keep my markers for that. You might be thinking to yourself, I've loved learning about color mixing with alcohol markers, and I wish to purchase them. You can buy them in small sets already on our website, I think. Might not have this Copics set on because I only had one left. So at $47 for 6, this is a little bit pricier. I think it might ring up on sale. But they pre-select these sets to be colors that do overlap and interact nicely, so you can get a lot of work done with a smaller set. Art Alternatives also makes a set. I pulled out the set of all the gray tones here because you gotta, as
you're goth.
As my the person who taught me oil painting explained, like, if you can't make a painting look good only in black, white, and gray, then you probably shouldn't continue making paintings.
Wow, harsh.
He was really intense, but we got along very well, so it was fine. I got really good at painting in black, white, and gray.
That's cool.
And brown. He was really into only brown paintings.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like that's the traditional way.
Is that right? All brown?
Yes. Underpaintings are generally done in shades of brown, burnt umber, siennas, and those underpaintings help you understand how light will get built up so you don't accidentally make something too dark, because oil paints are translucent, so you got to keep those bright areas bright.
I just learned so much. Oil paints are translucent?
Yes, oil paints are translucent.
Okay. I
mean, they can be if you really mix them. Yes.
Okay.
Oil
say so, boss.
Picture. Okay, here's my science from the household for you. Picture a white piece of paper, and you rub oil on it. It becomes translucent. Oil's just like a translucent. It just makes things clear. It's magic. I don't know the science. Is that Lee?
That's Lee. It looked like he was going to grab some stuff.
So exciting. Okay.
Do you want to keep going, and I'll make sure you can get loaded in?
Yep, absolutely. Okay. So as my final note, call us if you'd like to talk more about alcohol markers. We didn't talk today about water-based markers, but we'll do it next Tuesday because that's a whole other ball game. We sell a lot of water-based markers that still blend and can be used like watercolor paints. But again, they're going to saturate the paper. They need a different paper life. Ooh, this is very exciting. And we also have on our webpage the marker paper if you're using water or alcohol markers at home and it's just been a problem. If you're ripping through those papers like so many soggy diapers. Don't even do it. There's a better way, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to clean up here because some very exciting things are about to happen on Tubular Tuesday.
Tubular Tuesday. I'll be doing the interviewing. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
I'm most excited for this.
I just want to demonstrate for the people that we are taking Lee's health very seriously, and I will now be disinfecting my zone to make it Lee's zone.
Appreciate it.
It's not just for us, it's for all of you people. I don't think I've been spitting all over the desk, but I don't know. Who even knows? It's a novel virus. We don't know jack shit. Okay. How do you feel about this pile? I'm going to move that pile out.
I should be all right.
All right. These are going to go here. Sorry, camera settings. All right. I think you should be good there. Boop, 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 boop,
awesome.
Boop, boop. There's this antibacterial. If you want to give your hands some squirts at any time. And then, are y'all ready for the movie magic? I am now dropping the clear barrier because Lee and Paul have not been sharing as much spit that I know about. So this will protect them if they want to like talk to each other. And see, it's easy to set up a movie studio at home.
So big budget here.
Okay, super big budget. I'm gonna come Lee and grab those from the front.
Okay. We spent this
Several
if anybody's interested in buying one of these plastic barriers for your home, those are available for what was it, $15?
It's like 10 to 15.
$10 to $15 here at Wonder Fair.
It's a nice sheet of Duralar for
nice sheet of Duralar.
Or community help.
Yeah,
splatter shield.
It's a splatter shield. So excited to have you on the program here, Lee. There's, if you want to see, but generally we got two cameras.
Oh, cool.
That's Instagram. This is YouTube.
That's great.
You know, I didn't want to, haven't gotten into this with you yet, but I used to have a blog where I reviewed every hot dog I ate.
Oh my goodness.
The dog blog. So
What
I know a
year
lot.
was that?
I know a lot about hot dogs.
Okay.
But I've never talked to somebody who's made a hot dog. So I am super excited, and you make really good hot dogs. I gotta say, I stopped doing the blog like 10 years ago.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Did you have a favorite that you liked as far as the style, the condiments?
Oh yeah. So like I would travel all around the country with my band. Love getting into like regional hot dog scenes. Love this amazing. Gosh, other faves. I like a good. There's like a West Virginia hot dog scene. It's mostly like chili slaw dogs. Those can be amazing.
Yep.
They use like the especially cheap hot dogs.
Right.
But there's something great about that too.
There is. Yeah. I almost never have run into a hot dog that was so bad that I didn't enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah.
And sometimes the nice thing about a hot dog is that it's there.
It's there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want it.
My brother has been, it seems like he's an artist and he has no income now. And so he's been eating a lot of hot dogs. And like once a week I'll get a weird text like, hey, should I put risotto on this hot dog? Yesterday or like 2 days ago, he was like, should I marinate this hot dog in wine? And I was like, actually, I want to ask you about that.
Okay.
Would you ever marinate a hot dog in wine, or does that just not work?
No,
casing.
It works. It depends. Okay. It depends on the dog. There's a very traditional Polish technique where you take kielbasa and cook it in like reduced wine.
Okay.
Big cheap jug of wine. Cook it down till it's about halfway, reduced. Put your dogs in there. You could use bratwurst, frankfurters, kielbasa, Polish sauce, anything.
This is
and
great.
It soaks into it, and you get like this perfectly glazed, really deep red.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite. Yeah.
Oh,
so you
absolutely. I'm gonna pass that on to him. Just get the cheap bucket of wine and go.
It's a good technique. My grandmother used to do that with kielbasa, and it works really good. And plus, you get that really. It's almost like it's been shellacked, super shiny, especially with a natural casing.
Oh wow! Yeah. Cool.
So I know it's Tubular Tuesday, and I wanted to bring some tubes.
Yes.
And I brought one of my kind of a newer sausage stuffer that I picked up for like demonstrations, and so I can kind of show you how that goes together.
Great.
This kind of ties into the things that last forever sort of deal. Built to last.
Made to last.
It's made in Germany. It's a manual stuffer.
Are those sprockets up there? Can you pull that?
Yeah,
in?
Here. So these are what are called worm gears.
Worm gears.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they
beautiful looking worm gears up there.
This is this is what I would use for demonstrations. And it's got a really kind of cool steam pump. I don't know if you guys can see that.
No, we're seeing it. Looks great.
And so this is what will move the piston up and down into the sausage cylinder. And it comes with a heavy-duty handle, and it's kind of fun. This is basically how I learned how to make sausage way back when I was just a teenager. My grandfather had a cast iron version of this. Handle goes on, screw it into place. I always thought this part was kind of fun. And then you have to hand crank this. So this is where the old elbow grease comes into play. Crank it down, and then you can move this little piece here. Makes a great sound. Very satisfying. Very satisfying. You clamp this down to the table, and after you have your sausage ground and mixed, there is a headpiece that screws on here. This has all been lubricated with food grade lube. It's kind of a fine thread on here. If I can get it even, there we go. Okay, and this is what will actually push. Meredith, you made sausage before, you said. Did you use something like this?
We used like the KitchenAid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same concept, right? You've got here is where you would put your mixed sausage into, and it's got another little screw-on attachment. You take your horns, and there's different diameters for different types of sausages.
Can you go through that for a minute?
Absolutely. So these aren't my favorite horns, but
Why is that?
Well, okay. There's something that I do like about them. I'm a few years ago, someone had mentioned that they don't have pet peeves, they have pet faves. And so now I'm trying to define myself by my pet faves.
That's good.
What I like about these is you see how they stack really nice. Okay. Like wonderful nesting dolls. Store. Yeah. These for my other stuffer, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So anyway, this is ideal for me. I really like this a lot. So let's say we're going to stuff something with a bigger diameter. The diameter changes how big of a sausage. So this would be something like summer sausage or maybe andouille that you would stuff into a big casing. Yeah. This attaches to your old cylinder. Okay. She slides in here like so. And then as you crank down, it's down here. As you crank down, you would fill this up with your sausage. And then you turn it down like this. And it pushes, you put your casings on this guy here. And then it pushes the sausage out of the casing here. So you with one hand, you hold the casing down and then you crank this and it will extrude your sausage out this side here.
That's a complex operation.
A little bit, yeah.
Like okay.
You kind of have the whole rub.
I bet you get a rhythm going.
You do. And you're kind of like a tennis player where you have one real strong arm and then the other one is. But yeah, this is a great unit. It's made by Frederick Dieck. It's made in Germany. We just call him Fred. We kind of name all the pieces of equipment because they're all kind of like brutalist, by design. But yeah, we really love this one a lot. This would be for something, you wouldn't want to do 50 pounds in something like this. You'd want to do maybe, this holds about 10 to 12 pounds of of sausage that's already been mixed. But it's great for demonstrations. And if we do like butchering demos and stuff, and we want to make small batches, it's a great way because basically this is the same as my 40-pound hydraulic Manca stuffer. It's made in Spain. It's beautiful. And that's what these horns are for. Yeah. You can do 100 pounds.
So when you're doing that, are you just like controlling it with like a foot pedal or something?
It's got a knee pedal. Yeah. It's really cool. It's a big hydraulic cylinder. And the only difference really in the process is that you don't have to hand crank it. It's powered by a big motor that runs a hydraulic pump, and you can do 150 pounds in like an hour. It's really great. So this is kind of our demonstration sort of piece. We do love it. We use it quite a bit. The horns on it are plastic. You can get a stainless steel set, and you can see the diameter all the way down to the very smallest casings.
Is that like a breakfast sausage?
Breakfast sausage, the little links, things like that. This would be about what we'd use for our Frankfurters, a little bit bigger maybe for our Italian, and then something like this would be, for hog or for the beef middles or something where we'd be doing summer sausage, bologna, stuff like that. So that's a kind of the gist of how you actually stuff the sausage. The horns on my other stuffer, these are actually my favorite horns, and one in particular, I don't use it very often.
Wow, rare horn.
But this is my favorite.
Yes.
And it's because it has a hidden talent.
Tell us.
So besides just stuffing sausage, it is actually it could double as a flugel.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Is your cat sleeping?
I don't know. It's all right if he is. It's like his lunchtime, so he'll be up in
okay.
If he's
ready? Hold on. He's got the slide whistle from the antique.
Keep going. Let's do it.
Just one note. That's all it does, but it's a good loud note. So anyway, now this is going to be sterilized, sanitized, and kept in quarantine for 2 weeks. So anyway, it's going into the dirty bin. So that one's actually my favorite too.
That's great. We're making sausage here. Let everybody know.
So yeah, this process is when the sausage is already made, and that's how you're actually extruding it. But the process of making sausage, because I know you're interested in the actual.
I'm dying to know, because I know hot dogs are harder to make than sausage.
They are. So and the beef, which some people are sticklers for, what constitutes as a sauce, like a Frankfurter or a hot dog. Hot dogs can be made out of pork or beef, sometimes poultry. We make all of ours out of 100% beef. We start with whole animal cuts that we break down, and then we grind them. to a nice fine grind. If you notice when you bite into a hot dog, it's got a real smooth texture on the inside. That's not like a regular bratwurst or something. And so those, the reason why that's so smooth is because you grind it at a very fine setting. And then we actually grind ours twice.
Double ground. Beef frankfurters.
The second grind, you add a portion of ice to it, because a frankfurter hot dog, they're what are called emulsified sausages.
Yes.
So it's an emulsion of fat and water and liquid. So you have the fat from the meat, also the liquid component from the meat, and a little bit of ice to keep it really, really cold.
Which is important because
you don't want to break the emulsion. If it gets too warm, you really want to grind this stuff below 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And so cold meat, and then adding the small percentage of ice to it, when it grinds, it really gives it a nice smooth consistency. Then it goes into a very big mixer. And ours is a large dual tine. It fits about 150 pounds of meat. Imagine, those when you're playing bingo, and you turn the little crank and the balls are rattling around in there, and then you pick it. It's kind of the same method, but it's just for meat, basically. It tumbles it up against itself, and it mixes really, really thoroughly, and it activates myosin, which is like a protein inside the meat itself, causes it to stick to itself. So the difference between just like ground meat that's been seasoned and sausage is that mixing action.
Okay.
So that's really where the sausage is made in the mix.
Gotcha.
So then we...
sausage gets
So, and then we add seasoning to it, and ours is very simple. It's got, salt. We use sea salt, pepper, a little paprika. And, you probably noticed that when you go to different parts of the country, there are different kind of flavors of sausages.
Yeah.
Even major hot dog manufacturers will tweak their recipe if it goes to different parts of the country.
Get out, really?
Yep.
Regional Nathans?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Pretty much all the major ones do that, because in certain parts of the country, there's more garlic, or there's a little bit more paprika, or there's a little bit more mustard or something like that involved.
Wow.
So we have a standardized one that we use. It's been the same recipe it was a recipe that I developed 7-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we stick with that one. It's really great. It's got some garlic to it. We always use natural casings, which give a nice snap. Some people
love the snap.
Some people don't like the snap, but I live for the snap. I think it's
pro snap.
So yeah, basically that's it. We start with whole animal cuts, all local meat. We get all of our beef from farms here in Kansas, all of our pork from farms here in Kansas. And then I think a lot of people think that you take whatever's left over when you're done butchering, and then you just grind it all up and make sausage out of it. But we take a lot of time. We make sure that there's only nice, clean pieces of meat in there. If you've ever bitten into a bratwurst or something and it's got a little squeaky bit, a little chunk, crunchy bit, it's because they weren't doing enough cleaning on the meat. So we remove all the silver skin and all that kind of stuff, and we're just using whole animal cuts.
Wow, that's amazing.
A lot of work goes into it.
I can believe it. And let me ask, so not only are you serving these up at Leeway Frank's, but you also have the butcher shop. So folks at home could probably be buying their own hot dogs, sausages, right?
Absolutely. Yep. We opened up the butcher shop in December 2018. And now we're doing things like meat bundles. We're taking weekly meat bundle orders for either pickup. We've even been doing delivery, kind of like you guys. Every business owner is out and about, driving around town, learning. Absolutely.
Learn all the weird parts of Lawrence.
Yeah. I'm so guilty.
Yeah, it's Yeah, well, and I feel like there's some people who are stuck at home, or they're at risk, and so we'll drop off a box of meat or a couple bags with steaks or sausages. We do hamburger patties. We grind all of our burger and stuff that we use for the restaurant as well. We make bacon. We make ham. We kind of do it all. We're a nose to tail butcher shop, so we start with whole animals and break them down.
Tell us about the noses.
The noses are kind of underrated. I feel like there's a lot of good meat up in the head. A lot of flavorful meat. You can take those and smoke them, or you can make cold cuts out of them. Pretty much everything is edible. Even the tail is even edible.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Okay.
The hocks and the feet and things make great stock. So if you're into bone broths and stuff like that, great gelatin extraction from the feet. Yeah. So we use it all. We render down lard. So if you got any bakers out there, We have a small amount of lard typically for sale.
Leeway for all your lard needs.
You know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Speaking of gelatin, have you ever made any of those really wild meat jellos, like on British style?
I've seen them. I've never taken the plunge. Although I was at a dinner party that someone made used some of our franks and had made it looked like something out of the 70s, like a loaf that you cut into. Right. And I would just have to say that it was very interesting.
I'm saying if I could buy one of those from you instead of a birthday cake, that could be like a really expensive birthday cake gift.
Is head cheese like a high gelatin content?
It is, yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
That's pretty close.
It's pretty close, yeah. Actually, almost any of like terrines or things that are made from rillettes and things like that. Mm-hmm. You're taking typically tough cuts of meat or maybe less desirable looking cuts of meat, and cooking them down and extracting that gelatin flavor and that structure. And then as it cools down, it's set so you can slice it. Same thing with things like pate that you would use, liver and things like that. There's a whole technique to making some of those less desirable cuts taste delicious. And I feel like we do a pretty good job with a lot of that stuff. We're almost zero waste. There's very few things. If you've ever had our brown gravy on our fries over at the restaurant, for a poutine and things like that, we make all that. The reason why the gravy tastes so good is because we use all the bones. Yeah. We make a really rich stock out of that, and it's very unctuous. You have a bite of it, and it just kind of fills your mouth with flavor. It's very, very good. It's kind of lip smacking quality to it. So,
one of my favorite things to ask people if I'm ever interviewing them is, what's the least popular thing?
Ooh.
Or rather, the thing you care about that nobody else wants to
does?
buy. Like the thing you're like, yes, we're doing this. I love this. Nobody is interested in it. Because we do that all the time.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like, part of owning your own business is obviously being passionate about what you're doing. And there are some things that probably don't catch on as much as you'd like them to. For a while it was kind of, I wondered why we spent so much effort making the brown gravy, because it wasn't as popular. I feel like I'm from North Dakota originally and spent quite a bit of time up in Canada. So we ate gravy on fries. It was very, very common to find. I feel like the people are kind of coming around to
the poutine.
Yeah. And just having gravy on the tots too and things like that. Like I just like gravy for dipping.
Mm-hmm. She's ready.
It's
Meredith's not a tot person, but you converted her.
The tots are great.
Tell us about the tots.
Tots are the thing is
with best tots in Lawrence yet?
I think
is that a new category?
I think it is a new category. Okay. I think we're up there. I think we probably cracked the top 3, probably. Okay. Yeah, top 5 maybe. The thing with tots is we don't make our tots. Okay. Tots are like a byproduct of. I shouldn't say we don't make them from scratch. We cut our own fries, and we use very specific potatoes for our fries. They're Kennebec potatoes. Mm-hmm. They're chipping potato. They're huge. They're typically meant for making potato chips. But they make the best fries. So we do spend a lot of time on our fries and cutting those. Tots are kind of a byproduct of the potato chip industry.
Gotcha.
So that's used out of the little chunks. And what we found, and we've tasted every type of tot there is, cooking them right. Most people don't cook them either long enough or at the right temperature to get them crispy on the outside and still get them nice and buttery and pillowy on the inside. Most people don't season them right. We've got our own little seasoning that we use for them. And we've also found that the more expensive, higher quality tots are more uniform and they're not as good. Oh. You got to have the random little bits. So we actually find like a B grade kind of where they take, I feel like they screen all of the sizes for the best ones and they all make them very uniform. But there's something magical about having those little random bits of potato in there.
Right.
And so we've tried them all and we've stuck with this particular brand. And, we sell a lot of them. They're fantastic. The chili cheese tots they're very, very popular.
Your chili is great.
I appreciate that.
I remember the first time I ate your chili dog because I'm always thinking like, what's my review? And the first chili dog I had, it was just like a thin line of chili, but so powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
So good job on the chili.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I really love it.
And our chili isn't one of those types of chili that you would eat, a big bowl of. necessarily.
No, it's not that.
It's very, very strong.
It's a condiment chili.
It is. It's almost like a chili sauce, you know? And so it's seasoned very strongly. It's just our house ground beef and some sauteed onions. A lot of spices go into it, several types of chili powder that we use. And that was one of the first items that we was on our original menu. We wanted to have like a killer chili dog.
And you did.
And we haven't had to mess with that or change that one bit. It's my favorite thing on the entire menu is the chili dog. To this day, I still love that.
And I appreciate that you do a solid Chicago dog. Always like I feel like that's one of my main go-tos there. Just doing it right.
It's a top seller. People love it. And we originally didn't want to do that because if you've ever been to Chicago, everyone's got a Chicago dog that they do, and they use, you know, Vienna beef dogs and the poppy seed bun. It's got everyone's got a childhood memory attached to it. And we just weren't in the mood to just ruin people's childhood memories at first. You know, we were a little scared to put it out there. And then we started doing it once a week. Yeah. And after we did that for a little while, we realized that we probably need to have it on all the time because it's a really good seller.
It's just like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like I get that it's Chicago, but like this is a style of hot dog that the world needs to eat.
Well, I feel like the Chicago dog is definitely one of those it's more than just the sum of its parts. You know, when you put it all together. And we have our, we get sport peppers and that neon green relish that goes on it. We order those specialty items from a place in Chicago. The buns are Vienna brand buns. They're kind of pricey, but there's really, once you have one of those, there's really no other substitute for them.
Nice.
So we try to go through a little, we've curated that dog, so it should make most people from Chicago happy.
Curated hot dogs at Leeway, France.
You know?
Okay. Personal question. You ever considered doing like a Cincinnati style chili dog?
We've done with the kind of the cinnamony kind of flavor. We've considered different regional dogs a lot. One of them being like the Carolina style where it's got slaw on it and stuff like that. We kind of do that with our hot link. I make an Elgin style hot link with and it's got potato chip crumbles on it. Sometimes I think we should be more maybe a little bit more adventurous with stuff.
Do you ever need a consultant? I did have, when I was running the blog, me and a few friends, we would go on hot dog crawls where we would go to like 5 places. Like we're in Massachusetts, so we just like drive around for the whole afternoon eating one hot dog after another from like places we looked up on Chowhound. And we made business cards for ourselves that said we were hot dog consultants. And tried to get jobs, but mostly only got like free hot dogs occasionally.
That's not that bad, though.
It's not that bad.
You know, I think we could probably be used to be a little bit more adventurous with some of the creations. One of them that's real popular that we've got requests for is the Seattle dog.
Oh, cream cheese
and wilted cabbage. Yeah, and we've done it. We've done some just for ourselves, some R&D.
I make those at home.
Do you? Yeah, they're great. Yeah,
if there's cream cheese at home, I'm usually putting that on.
The other ones that are popular now, they're getting more popular, are and we've done a few of those. The Danish style. It's got remoulade on it, and it's got little sauteed, little crispy fried onions on it, a little pickle. Yeah. They're very, very good.
Is that like, I know in Sweden they like wrap a hot dog in like a
flatbread sort of thing, and
throw mashed potatoes in there.
Right.
Doing that sort of thing.
Well, we haven't done that.
The Danish thing kind of sounds like, because they put the remoulade in there too.
The remoulade I think the key is to get a really good remoulade. I think that is really. But also, if you, we get kind of creative with just putting condiments on dogs sometimes. What is your opinion?
I know where you're going. There's no ketchup.
No ketchup. No. But have you ever had mayo on a dog?
I feel like I've dropped some mayo in occasionally, depending on the use.
Sometimes some of our sausages.
What do you put mayo on?
There'll just be certain things that we'll need. It'll be like maybe something spicy, or there'll be some sort of. Some sort of spice going on or condiment going on that's needs a little bit of that mellow kind of creaminess, and you get pretty good results with that. So we're kind of like condiment driven food, I say.
Leeway Frank's condiment driven food.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true because you put so much time into the thing that's not the condiment.
It's true, but we also make our own krauts. So and that's a long drawn out process. Takes about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
Slicing the cabbage, we get a whole big 60-pound bag of cabbage in. We slice it, break it all down.
Got a big old vat that you're fermenting it in.
Salt it, ferment it. But you know, we didn't originally start making our own kraut until about a year into the game. We started making our own, and just the texture of it is so much better. Crunchy texture. Yeah, we now that we've done that, I don't feel like we put the cat back in the bag. You know.
All right.
So
I want to get to a couple questions we pulled in on Instagram. Kate Meyer, our fact checker, asks, "What's your cooking oil?"
Oh, we use a canola oil because of allergies. I know a lot of people like the peanut oil and stuff like that, but we use a high oleic canola oil.
Okay.
And it seems to be pretty much makes everybody happy. We haven't run into any allergy issues with that. So.
Great. Sarah Wilkes asks, can you make a skinny sausage, like the breakfast sausage, and then stuff it into a larger sausage?
It's actually there is a Taiwanese style sausage that is a sausage in a sausage. It's a piece of lapchong, dried sausage that they roast, and you bite into it. It's sausage within a sausage. You can do that. We have not done that yet.
Haven't done.
We have not done some meat.
Oh yeah.
And then roll it up, and then when you cut into it, you know, you got some little cheese in there or something. You cut into it, it melts, and it's really tasty.
That sounds great. Got any more questions here, Meredith?
Well, I guess I want to shout out Buffalo style hot dogs, Buffalo, New York.
Oh, Buffalo. Oh,
yeah. Is that the tiny dogs?
That's Albany.
Albany.
The tiny hot dogs in Albany. You ever seen these?
I have not.
They're like about 2.5, 3 inches, and they make tiny buns to go with them.
Sliders, but
it's like sliders.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. I know you're doing the burger sliders.
We do those,
Shout that out. Also, my personal favorite hot dog condiments are sour cream plus garlicky pickle spear plus crumbled potato chips.
Potato chip crumbles.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of like a sour cream and onion dog kind of thing going on there. You know, that sounds.
Yeah, there's a great hot dog.
I'm into that.
You ever heard of this place, Criff Dogs?
Oh yeah, Criff Dogs.
Yeah, they have this sour cheese dog.
Yeah, I bet it's good.
Boy, it's just like that pickle spear and like some like melty cheese on top.
Dang.
I think we're eating hot dogs all week now.
Kate Meyer has a follow-up. She's the fact checker, so she's really interested to hear. Do you change oil more frequently than chain stores? Because something magic seems to be happening with your Tots.
Yeah, so our oil is, you know, I have worked at places, and I've worked in one of my first jobs was in fast food. And one of the things that I hated was the smell of the oil as it starts to break down, because you only get so many heating cycles out of it. So ours is we filter it twice a day. I used to work at places where they clean the fryer like once a week or something. Ours is scrubbed. You know, we clean out the fryer. Not only do we filter the oil and stuff, but the fryer is meticulously cleaned every day. We filter twice a day. And then we make sure that we're keeping track of how many heatings we get out of it, because when you heat the oil up to 375 degrees or 365 degrees, you know, that's like one time it starts to break down after that, you know? So there is a sweet spot with oil, with blanching fries and things, because we blanch our fries, we fry them twice.
Double fried fries.
You'll notice that if you get, if the oil is fresh, it's not the best oil for blanching fries.
Yeah.
You lose some of the color. So there's kind of a sweet spot. You want, like on the second or third cycle, you get, you know, as far as, you know, filtering, that's the best for fry. You get the best color. There's something about the flavor is just right. And then once you hit that spot, we know that that's the sweet spot. We know that it's moving down, so we move it out. We go through a lot of oil. It's just the reality of it.
Well, there you go, Kate. That's the reason. Lots of oil changes at Leeway.
And scrubbing the fryer properly.
Yeah.
cleaning every little surface.
Wow, that sounds like unpleasant work.
It's not all that fun, but something about it is somewhat therapeutic at the same time, you know.
I feel like you have a lot of repetitive motions.
There are, especially on the sausage side, linking sausages, you kind of get in the zone.
Okay, good.
2 minute remaining warning.
2 minutes.
Quick query for the people. I know you were hiring recently. Have you hired?
We have a couple new hires that they're trying things out, you know, and we're just kind of playing it by ear. But if anyone is looking for work, stop by either the restaurant or the butcher shop and come talk to us, because
you watched this and you were like, I gotta work for this genius of sausage, the Sausage King of Lawrence.
I'm almost convinced. I have plenty of stuff to do.
We have several too many jobs, but maybe check out Lee. He seems like he'd be a good boss.
Come talk to us for sure.
I have one more question. It's not tubular related. Hot dog's not a sandwich, right? We agree that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We won't get into it.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you about one of your sandwiches because I also love sandwiches.
I do too.
I had the sandwich. It was the fried chicken salad.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's so good,
but I
yeah.
haven't seen that on the menu for a long time. I wanted to ask. It's gonna come back.
We'll bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
If you're gonna make chicken salad, you might as well fry the chicken.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean,
folks? This sandwich was a revelation.
So good.
There's a few sandwiches in Lawrence that really stand out to me, and the fried chicken sandwich at Leeway is one of those. In addition to the meatball sub at Limestone, do you ever have?
Oh
that?
yeah, it's killer.
Wow.
Yeah, that bag.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Leeway Franks are doing takeout and delivery.
Thank you.
Get a big box of meat from them.
Yeah.
Bye, folks. Thanks.
See you next time, YouTube. Wink, wink.